swag of a prize fighter. The antithesis of a firefighter. Arsonist, I'm a fire rider. Instant flame like a firelighter. So special with shows, I live out my flows. Can't walk in my shoes, can't purchase my clothes. Ice in my veins, but I never froze. Picture perfect, but I never pose. As a juvenile, I knew I bounced back. Got rated, had a plan to get my ounce back. Use cheese as bait, that's a mousetrap. Let me to the right person to pounce at. They selling dreams, I'm pulling receipts. Full force, we can't be beat. Got a dirty mouth, but the flow so neat. Keep your 2 cents, talk is cheap.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros are comments made by Frank Warren. Basically, he doesn't think that Conor Benn should be allowed to fight. Let's take a listen to what Frank Warren had to say, and then we'll discuss it in greater detail.
Hearing that it looks like we'll fight again before we hear something. We don't know how long the report's going to take to hear anything back. They've submitted 280 pages. Robert Smith, the board, haven't had anything. WBC have got it. What do you think is the right thing here?
Well, first of all, the right thing is to have a hearing and to produce the B sample. As regarding the WBC, they've got all these papers in which they're looking at, and they haven't reinstated him in their rankings. And all they can do to that, they can't stop him from boxing the WBC. They can only stop him from being in their rankings. That's all that can happen. He's given up his British Boxing Board of Control license. So whether another jurisdiction will license him, I don't know. But the fact is, he tested positive twice. And the fact is, what they should do is give all the papers to UCAD and let them hear it. They were 2 British fighters.
What they're saying at the minute is that they want to allow they want the information to come out, but they feel like it's getting to a point where they're just going to have to get on and let him fight without the information coming out. As boxing public, is that fair?
What's wrong? How can they let him fight without the hearing? That's nonsense. And if that happens, there's something wrong. And who's going to license him? Where is he going to get a license? He's give up his board license. He's suspended anyway, and they can't license him unless UCAD have the hearing.
Just finally, this weekend we saw Chris Eubank Jr. Was defeated by Liam Smith.
All right. So you heard Frank Warren. He's saying, man, he shouldn't be allowed to fight without the results of the hearing. He should be providing his B sample. Who's going to license him? He's not a big fan of Conor Benn being able to resume his career without answering for that positive test. Troy Bill, what's your reaction to Frank Warren?
Yeah, and you just got Chris knocked out by Beefy. You know what I'm saying? It's all your fault. Now we got to all regroup and everything. It's Conor Benn's fault. He shouldn't be allowed to fight. That's how Frank Warren is feeling. You know? You know all the trouble I had to go through because of Conor Benn. No, he shouldn't be able to fight. No, listen. Frank makes a great case. In all fairness, due process. But boxing is slippery. And one of these sanctioning bodies, they might do it if the right fight appears and the money is right and the money is there. Somebody will let this young man fight. But if it all comes out, he was found guilty of cheating, which is twice, I do believe that a suspension or a fine should be in order. But not a long, crazy suspension or not a long, so he can get back in there and like he learned his lesson, but he'll be able to go back in there and get another shot because I do believe in second chances.
This is where Deontay Wilder doesn't sound too crazy.
Yeah.
So Wilder says everyone's cheating to beat me. That's when I'm like, you're giving yourself a lot of credit there, guy. But when he says that everyone's cheating, or people are always going to cheat, this is one of the reasons why. What deters someone? If you could test positive and not have a hearing and still continue with your career, what is it? What would deter someone from cheating? Because let's say, I know a lot of people want to give Conor Benn the benefit of the doubt. A lot of people want to call him a cheat. A lot of people want to call a spade a spade. But let's say, for the sake of argument, that he really did intentionally take PEDs. Shouldn't he be suspended?
Mhm.
And if he's allowed to resume his career and just give up his license with the Board of British Boxing Control, which is what he did, and then go somewhere else, go to, say he comes to America and gets licensed or wherever he goes, and they license him. Is that fair? Is that right? What stops him from cheating? The irony is, say he comes to America and he gets licensed, it's the VADA test that he failed. And Eddie Hearn was the one arguing that you shouldn't even rely on the VADA test. You should rely on UCAD because we don't that's the test that matters in the UK. So if he comes and gets licensed in America, the irony in that, I feel like if you test positive for a banned substance, one that's particularly a masking agent, but also in being a masking agent is known to boost your testosterone levels, you should have to sit it out until your hearing is finished. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And it's difficult to expedite hearings and to expedite things of that nature. But if he has a B sample and he believes that he's innocent, why didn't he call for that B sample to be tested immediately? And that's where I'm getting. All right, so I'm innocent. All right, test my B sample immediately. He's not calling for that. But he wants this hearing and he wants to put in all this evidence. And, the WBC is apparently going to rank him. It seems. I don't know. Eddie Hearn seems to have a connection with the WBC when you look at it. But to me, it's all irrelevant. I don't know who Conor Benn is going to fight. I don't know if Conor Benn is going to fight. I don't know who's going to license Conor Benn. But it seems to me the plan for Conor Benn is to scream I'm innocent, to flat out go full court press on social media saying that I'm being done wrong and I'm going to prove my innocence without really ever having the intention to do it. And what's going to happen, I feel, is he's going to try to get a fight somewhere else. He's going to try to get licensed somewhere else. And once he has that fight, he's going to act as though that's vindication, as though it proves that he didn't cheat and it proves that he was clean all along. Because the way he's going about it is he doesn't intend to fight. He doesn't intend to fight in the UK. He doesn't intend to fight under the jurisdiction of the Board of British Boxing Control. He doesn't really care about their hearing. It seems as though kind of he's positioned himself to move on and fight elsewhere. And hopefully, if he's successful fighting elsewhere and he passes tests elsewhere, he's going to argue that that's proof of his innocence and disregard anything that the Board of British Boxing Control finds or what they believe. That's what it seems. So it seems like he's just going to move the venue and move his career and act like what happened
Never happened.
It never happened. And then say I'm vindicated based on the fact that I'm still fighting and I've never tested positive.
They were tripping.
Yeah.
They were tripping.
I don't know, but I'd say this: to me, he's going to be tainted, and it's going to be in trouble. And you look at other people. You look at Dillian White. Dillian White was suspended. Dillian White took Jack 3D at the time. Jack 3D was new, pre-workouts were new, and there were several people who had issues with Jack 3D, and they ended up having to remake their formula. So Dillian White's excuse was legit. Tyson Fury, the wild boar meat. People do put steroids in meat to help, make the animals grow faster and do all types of stuff. Clenbuterol's in Mexican meat. Canelo wasn't the only athlete who tested positive for that while being in Mexico and eating in Mexico. Yep, there's soccer players, there's football players, there's other athletes, there's regular people who work jobs where they're tested and they have to be clean who tested positive for that. So that's out there. That's a real thing. You look at what's his name? Oscar Valdez, who tested positive for something, said it was in a tea. I know people laugh at that, but how many supplements are there? How many companies are there making products where they want to get results? And I won't name this guy, but there's a guy on YouTube right now selling his own products who puts an illegal substance in it. If you're in high school, if you're in college, you cannot take this substance, but it's in the supplements that he sells. And to his credit, he makes it known as a disclaimer that he's selling this supplement, that this is included in his supplements. But what made him report it as a disclaimer? There were people taking it, not knowing it was in there, and then testing positive, and then saying, this is what I'm taking. They test that supplement and they find out that it's in there. So all I'm saying is those are legitimate excuses. The supplement he took is a masking agent female fertility drug. There's no giving the benefit of the doubt for that. If what he took was in tea, if what he took was in meat, if what he took was, I would be the first one to be like, yo, bro, that's a masking agent. That's like, yo, I got to restart the natural production of my body's hormone stuff because I done killed it by juicing type of stuff. You dig what I'm saying? So you can't just tell me like that shit guilty. Just like when we heard about Big Baby Miller, we was ready, Eddie, to get Big Baby. What if Big Baby came out and said a whole bunch of stuff? Like, so I mean, when all is said and done, to me, the man is tarnished because what he took, there's no reasonable explanation for why it was in his body. Like the other athletes. And you can say, oh, Dillian White knew, or you can say, but they sold that over the counter. They put this in meat. They put that in tea. I believe it. You know the type of teas they're selling. Go next time you go shopping, go in the tea section. You can find all types of tea. You can find the Turbo Zane tea. You know what
Turbo Zane, Boxing Bros, Turbo Zane,
Turbo Zane tea. Make love like a champ.
Knock out.
With consent.
Let us know. You finished, bro?
Huh?
You finished? No.
No. Consent and incense. Nah, but nah. All right, I'm gonna finish with this. So for real. I don't want to call for anyone's career because if you remember, bro, when Big Baby tested positive, I didn't want to ban him. I don't think any of us wanted to ban him. Or I could be wrong.
I think I probably.
But it was due to the amount of time.
Yeah, it was so many times he done did it.
Yeah,
we was mad. I know we were really furious, but we was like 2 months. I know, but what you said, you didn't want.
I don't want to ban Conor Benn from boxing either. But there needs to be accountability. There needs to be something to deter this. Otherwise, it's going to be a free-for-all. And that's what Wilder's sitting there saying. All right, y'all need that help. Y'all need that help. But I got this, the Alabama Slammer. So that's my point. There needs to be something to deter this behavior. And if you're just going to let Conor Benn do this, then to me it hurts the sport because there's nothing to deter cheaters.
Exactly. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. Boxing Bros, sponsored by Turbo Zane.